Hi guys. About a year ago I fell in love with Counter-Strike. It was my first FPS on PC, I had no idea what I was doing, and I did competitive until I reached the prime rank of Silver 2. Over the last 12 months, I've managed to push through that horrible pain and learn what it is to play an FPS on PC. Being where I am now, currently, I don't think I could fucking stand a chance on a console on FPS using a controller. But my god, was it hard to get used to using the keyboard and mouse. I've managed to reach Legendary Eagle rank, and I was very proud of that. About 2 weeks ago, I reached the highest point I've ever played in Counter-Strike. Sometimes there have been highs and lows. Sometimes my aims felt good. Sometimes my communication's been what's carried me in games. You know, positioning, things like that. At the end of the day, there was always something that I was weak at, something I was lacking. And around 2 weeks ago, I reached that peak where my aim, my positioning, my communication, my flashes, my smokes, they'd all never been as good as that moment. And I truly felt like I stood a good chance at reaching LEM, the next rank up, with potential to reach Supreme soon. And then a wall of obligations and real life things and basically a bunch of reasons as to why I can't play CS right now happened back to back for 2 weeks. And I've not been able to play any Counter-Strike during that time. So having reaching the maximum potential that I got and reaching this threshold, this beautiful point where I feel like I can do this, I can reach Supreme, it kind of got taken away from me and now I'm kind of rusty and it was horrible. And so this video is talking about how to realign yourself, how to regain that understanding and remove that rust in a proper, efficient way. And the sort of theory behind how to be a good Counter-Strike player. Now, I've reached Legendary Eagle. I believe I reached it in about 160 competitive wins. Bear in mind, again, I haven't played any FPS prior to this ever on PC. So I was really happy with that progression and the level that I reached in that amount of games. Some of you might think that's not fast enough. Some of you might think that's very fast. To me, I'm happy with the success that I had. And the thing that led me to be able to reach this rank is really thinking about these types of things. So if you're interested in getting better at Counter-Strike or you just find this interesting, I find it really important to think about, and this is more for me than it is for anyone else, but I hope that it helps others. So let's talk about alignment or the threshold. It's something that I've been unable to explain for a while. I've tried talking to my friends about it and specifically Veno as well, the guy who's been helping me learn the game. It's this thing that I can't explain, right? Or couldn't before. This threshold or whatever it is this sort of pinpoint moment where things feel sort of clear, you know? I know where to aim, I know where to stand, I know when to flash, I know how to flash. And in this state of mind, you could put me in a clutch situation and I'd probably come out on top because I just feel very confident in my gameplay at that moment. And that's why I've decided to call this, I don't know, this state, aligned. The reason I'm coining this phrase, if it's even a thing that I've coined and maybe it's something I've heard somewhere, who knows, it's basically a crosshair, right? I like to imagine it as this. So, you know when you're using an AWP and you're looking down the scope, when you're stood still, the crosshair is perfectly clear and aligned. You have the X and Y axis lines colliding with each other in the perfect spot, leaving you with a perfect dot bang on in the center of the screen. Perfect alignment. And that's the thing, the visual thing that I want to show to try and explain this theory. That is being aligned in that perfect state where you truly feel confident, your aim is perfect, your positioning is perfect, you feel ready to take on any and all opponents. You feel aligned, just like when your AWP is perfectly still, perfectly clear. And then when you're unaligned, or you're off that threshold, or you feel rusty, or something's wrong, any aspect of your gameplay really, is when you're moving with an AWP. When that line is still there, you still know it's there, you're still aware of it, but holy shit is it blurry, and you can't quite seem to get it aligned. Now for me to reach global, I've tried to take a step back and look at the wall that I'm faced with right now. There's a list of reasons that build up this wall. We were talking about them just a second ago. So my aim, whether I can hit a target that's not moving or moving, whatever. My positioning, so that I know where to stand at the right time. Perfect example of positioning and why it's so important is because when enemies are pushing a site or you're pushing a site, your positioning is crucial. You should position yourself where you can only see one enemy at a time. So you put yourself in a 1 versus 1 situation. If your positioning is bad, you do the exact same thing, but multiple enemies can see you, and then you're at a disadvantage right away. And that is really, to me, the main aspect of a good player. Being able to position himself and being able to aim. These two things correlate so importantly that, again, I want to reference the crosshair. You have the X axis and the Y axis. You have X, positioning, you got Y, aim. And when they're perfectly next to each other in the right spot, you're fucking unstoppable. But the thing is, and what a lot of players seem to think out there on matchmaking is, that's it. You know, once you got positioning and your aim down, you're unstoppable. And the truth of the matter is, you could probably get, like, I guess, Supreme with just that. But without teamwork, communication, flashbangs, smokes, map knowledge, being able to perceive footsteps and shots, and being able to locate where an enemy might be based on them. Wallbang spots, good timings on when to push certain sites, reacting to what the enemy is doing, buying the right gun for the right situation, understanding your economy. There's so much to this fucking awesome game. So much more than meets the eye. You take one look at Counter-Strike and you just think, oh, you walk around, you point, you click, and you fire and you kill the enemy, or you miss and then you die. God damn, there's so much to this game. And it truly, really shows the phrase, an hour to learn the game, 1,000 hours to master it. And Veno's actually explained this to me a few times. The concept that anyone could very quickly, in the first 100 hours of the game, could probably reach 90% understanding of the game. And where the true good players are the people who have that 100% or goddamn near to it. That last 10% takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to work for. And yet if you enjoy the game and you're passionate about it, you're willing to fight and learn that 10%. And holy shit, is it fucking worth it when you do. What's super interesting about this is this theory doesn't just apply to Counter-Strike. It applies to everything. In doing well at sport, at art, your craft, your work, your hobbies. Anything can be learned, the majority of, fairly quickly. But it's a massive gap and requires a huge amount of dedication and passion to master. And the beauty of something like Counter-Strike is that anyone, especially you, can actually master it. You just need a keyboard and a mouse and a computer that can actually run Counter-Strike. Unlike other professional athletes, like, a sprinter, he needs massive, strong, withstanding leg muscles. All you gotta do to play CS is sit down. I mean, it's not just being able to work out these strategies or positions or the flashbangs, but being able to make them practical in the right moment. Having 1,000 strategies and ideas and then picking out the best one for the current situation you're in on that specific map at that round time with that gun that you have at that time. It's fucking crazy, man. And then we go back to where I started. The fact that I hadn't played in like 2 weeks properly and I felt rusty and I did not feel aligned. My crosshair was blurry as fuck. For the last 3 days I've sat in deathmatch and done a few competitives. And the alignment comes back in time. The only way to get it back when you feel rusty, you've not played in a while, my advice is just play and play and play. Play with friends, play on your own, listen to music, listen to streams, watch a film while you do it. Refresh yourself, use a different weapon. Most of us agree now that the M4A4 is the better gun after the nerf. There are uses for the silenced version, like long range, and it's still a pretty good spray pattern, but obviously there's other reasons too as to not use it. But I actually started using the silenced version again and stepped away from the M4. I retaught myself not to spray so much. I retaught myself to aim right at the head, and then once I was able to kill people with that gun, I started using the AK. And it's funny how when you shoot someone in the head with an M4, they're still standing, and yet with the AK, they're just fucking dead. When you get so used to having to shoot them more than once in the head, that first shot becomes really easy, and then my aim feels aligned. But that's only one line of that crosshair. Positioning? That comes from playing competitive, not deathmatch. Sure, I can make it so I'm only facing one opponent when multiple come around that corner, but it only lasts so long. The best understanding of that would be in competitive. Trial by fire, I guess. There are many guides out there to watch, flashbang, smoke guides. Simply going on the map and your own server or offline and trying some of them out, reminding yourself, running around the map, seeing what you remember. Look up what you don't. To remove rust if you have it, It just takes dedication. And know on that first day, when you sit down and you go, okay, it's time to get this skill back, you're gonna get fucking destroyed. And that's alright. Part of the process, I guess. Day 1, I got fucked up. Day 2, I feel pretty fucking good. And day 3, well, this is day 3 for me right now. I'll see how it goes. But the point of this video, I suppose, is to let you know, those of you who might want to know or might maybe not thought of it like this, but there's a wall and it's stopping you from getting to global. And it's a list of reasons. You can pierce that wall with good aim and good positioning. Or you can pierce that wall with good flashbangs and awareness, good communication, and wall bangs and boosts. But at the end of the day, what you're doing here is putting small holes in that wall. If you want to reach global and you want to be a great player, you can't just do a couple things, break a small hole in that wall and reach the next rank. If you want global, you got to completely get rid of that wall and be good at every aspect. And maybe when you're at that point, you'd be able to go pro. I don't know. I'm still fucking learning. But to me, this is a really interesting topic, and thinking like this has made it so I can progress and get better at the game. And I hope that you found this interesting. I have no idea how many people might find this useful, or maybe a lot of you think I'm fucking stupid for even, like, considering shit like this. Either way, just talking and thinking about it like this has already helped me, and I hope that it helps some of you. Thanks for listening, and enjoy CS. There should be a lot more CS on my channel again. And fuck, I'm really fucking excited to stream more CS again.
Okay.
Is he there?
Yeah, we're alone.
Okay, hold on, I'm getting mine out.
Where is he?
In the tunnel. Go for him, fucking eat him.
That's
Right.
it.
Oh, that headshot though.
Nice.
Dude, that saved your ass.
If he would have shot Goobies, he would have died.
I know. I know.